can get her going when she comes back in. Okay, perfect. I think we should be able to get going. I just want to first say thank you. I'm excited to be able to share with you guys about these incredible products and just really what they can do for your health. There she is. My name is Jenny Field, and I just want to share a little bit about myself before we get started, just so that we have a little bit of a connection with each other. I am a former massage therapist. I did massage therapy for 17 years, and I loved it. I just loved working with people. I loved how the human body works, and I loved helping people specifically. And I think that's one thing that we all kind of have in common, which is really cool. I was introduced to this company called LifeVantage a little bit over 2 years ago, and it really kind of just fell in my lap. I really wasn't searching for something different. I really wasn't looking for, per se, another job, but it really served me at the time. And my daughters have horses. They barrel race. And one of our horses had broke a bone in its foot. And we had gone through the rehab, we had gone through the healing process and everything, and we were getting ready to put the horse back into training. And I just knew, with my massage background, there's got to be something out there that can support this horse from the inside out. Like, I was just so worried that, this horse was going to get injured again. And sure enough, a friend of mine posted on Facebook about this product called Protandim Nerve 2, and that she was giving it to her horse and the success that her horse was having with healing in its body. And I was like, tell me more. So I just ended up getting more information. And when I started to read about the information and the science behind it, I was like, oh, well, these are really human products. Humans can take these. But the one specific Protandim NRF2 is all mammals are able to use this product. So that's why our horses can use it. We have a version for dogs and cats that is amazing in our dogs and cats. And so I just was like, gosh, I've got to share this information with people. And I wanted to incorporate it in my massage business as well, because once we get going into the science, you're really going to see how they go hand in hand together. So that's a little bit about me. I do not do massage anymore. I closed my massage doors right before COVID hit last year, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because I would have had to close my doors anyways. But I do this full time now, and I just share and I educate with people on how you can take control of your health naturally, and you can support your body through what is called nutrigenomics. Before I really get started, though, I just would like Kimberly to give a little testimony of her daughter and these products, because her story is so powerful, and I just love it. So if you'll share a little bit, I'm going to point the camera to you.
Hi, everyone. Well, thank you, Tanaya and Charlotte, for allowing me to be here and being part of my journey. And unfortunately, I think when you come to this office, you don't come here because everything's great in your life. And my daughter was, she was falling apart. Our family was falling apart, and I didn't know how to help her. I didn't know what was wrong with her, but I knew that with each year she was getting older, she was getting angrier. Her anger was turning to violence towards herself, towards others. I was scared. I was scared for both of us. And I can remember sitting on my floor, the door shut, as most moms do, just crying and begging for God, to say, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. And my daughter rides horses, so this is the connection. And we were going out to the horse ranch, and we were quitting that day. I just couldn't do this anymore. It was too hard. And a mutual friend of ours said, I know some people that have had some really good luck. You should look into this. I bought it that day because I was desperate, and it's life-changing. It's changed our life. everyone who knows my daughter says she's a different kid. You can reach her now. Before I couldn't reach her. And that was probably the strongest thing, is that I just couldn't communicate with her. I couldn't get to her heart. I couldn't get to her brain. And she's young, so almost I felt immediately we saw a huge difference. Within a month, she was a different kid. Her teacher I have it in writing. Her test scores went from this, when they do the first test in September to the next test, they went up over 50%. She's above the charts now. And I said, this is fantastic news. How is her behavior? And she said, she's a different kid. So it's not me. Tanaya has said it. She's a different kid. Everyone who comes into my family is like, what are you doing? She's different. And that's all I can say. And I know that when she goes off of this, she gets the anger comes back. She's not able to manage her feelings. And my favorite line that she said after taking this, and I asked her, and I said, well, how does it make you feel? And she goes, I feel in control, mommy. And for a 6-7-year-old to be able to verbalize that, and for her to feel so out of control in her life, to me, it's a miracle. And I take them as well. And I can testify that I'm probably in the best spot that I've been in my whole entire life. And so that's my story to these. And that's why we're here, because they do make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kimberly.
I wish I had this one.
I know, right?
That's why I do what I do.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, what I'm going to talk to you guys about are natural products that help support our body on a cellular level. And the company is called LifeVantage, says it right there. And we're going to talk about how you can biohack your body through using nutrigenomics. And nutrigenomics is kind of a scientific big word. But I'm going to break it down for you. So nutrigenomics really is just the study of nutrition and nutritional compounds and how they affect our genes on a cellular level. So there's so many amazing things in herbs that we can utilize to support our body, and that's exactly what this is doing. And biohacking is really just the art and the science of changing the environment around us. So we can really biohack anything. I mean, me putting my glasses on is biohacking my body so that I can see better. And so we're going to talk about how you can do that on the inside of your body and how we can express our genes to their fullest potential by biohacking. There's this term called epigenetics, and I just want you to understand how the environment around us truly impacts how our bodies function and work. Genes are mere blueprints to our bodies. On average, only about 20% of our DNA is hardwired. So that means we're really only functioning on about 20% of our cellular function. And we want to flip that. We want to be able to be working on 100% of our cellular DNA. And we just want to look at how the human genome has 4 million genes that turn on and off with the different things that we come in contact with just through everyday life. So we can think of nutrigenomics as flipping the switch of our health. So let's talk a little bit about our bodies being hijacked versus us biohacking our bodies. Every single day, our bodies are being hijacked by the food that we eat, to even the water that we drink, the pollutants in the air, toxins, smoke, all of that stuff is affecting our body on some sort of level. We're either breathing it in, it's either being absorbed on our skin through the soaps that we use, the shampoos that we use, all of those have chemicals inside of them. Our skin is the largest organ of our body. And anytime anything comes in contact with our skin, it's absorbed within about 60 seconds. So every single day, our bodies are being hijacked and put at a risk of having more and more toxins built up inside of them. So if we look at how we can hijack our body, or excuse me, how we can biohack our body from being hijacked, we're really going to start taking control of our own biology. We'll optimize our own genetic potential, and really become the best version of ourselves that we possibly can be. Did you know that there are 85,000 chemicals have been introduced into this world since the Industrial Revolution? Yes, it's very, very significant, right? And we can do our best to try to protect ourselves from this, but it's just inevitable. We're just in contact with them. So all of these things I want you to think about is it's dimming the lights inside of our body. And what does that look like? What does that make you feel? Well, we have decreased immune system. We also have brain fog. We feel sluggish. And we can have bad mood and lack of motivation. We also have increased stress and fatigue. So all of these things are impacted by the things that we come in contact every single day. So what is really happening in our bodies when those lights are being dimmed? We're going to talk about these three things here: oxidative stress, our mitochondrial decline, and the decline in our sirtuin activity. These are three things that are major in our health, in our longevity, and in our aging process. So science has already discovered that our genes contain incredible abilities to help our health and our bodies. If you could leverage those genes with just a flip of the switch, would you do it? So these three bottles right here are called our Protandim Tri-Synergizer. And when I talked about oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and sirtuin proteins, these three are going to target those specific theories of aging. So let's talk a little bit about oxidative stress and what is oxidative stress. Well, this apple right here shows you that when you bite into an apple and you let it sit on the counter, the air around it is going to oxidize that apple. It's turning it brown just by the air hitting it. That is the same thing that's happening inside of our bodies. Our bodies are actually rusting from the inside out because we're being inundated with an overload of oxidative stress. How does that happen? We talked a little bit about that, this free radical damage that's happening inside of our bodies, that toxic buildup that we're encountering every single day. It is an oxidation process that is going into our bodies, and it's just resting us from the inside out.
And free radicals is something that was really big in the 80s, I remember.
Yeah, so they used to use that term free radical damage. Now they've kind of switched it over to oxidative stress. So you can look at free radical damage and oxidative stress as one in the same. Yep. This just shows a little bit about what oxidative stress and what the overload of oxidative stress can do inside of your body. It's linked to over 200 disease processes inside of our body. So any of those things that are listed on here can be a result of an overload of oxidative stress.
ADHD is in there, OCD.
Right?
What's asthma? Asthma, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I don't know if I cleared it, my daughter had the diagnosis of ADHD, and so it's different kid.
So there's studies, there's research on this, on how oxidative stress is linked to all of these things, you know, your autoimmune diseases, your you know, cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, all of that. Yes, yes, migraines. It's all a form of inflammation inside of our body.
And the irritable irritable bowel. I mean,
Yes.
nowadays, you hear so many people have that.
So many people, and it's, it really does come down to the poor nutrition
Eating, yeah.
that's the food that we're eating. It's not there's some healthy stuff there, but it really comes down to things are being processed more. We're not eating natural whole foods like we used to. Everything is processed and everything is
True.
modified in some way.
To make it last longer.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do we fight oxidative stress? How do we fight that free radical
Hey,
damage?
look, wine.
There's my one.
Yeah.
Yeah, have to continue, baby.
Yep.
Never stopped you.
And these things are good for us, red
In
wine
moderation.
in moderation. They used to say, take your antioxidants. And we have antioxidants in the food that we eat, but we just cannot combat that free radical damage to the antioxidants that we put inside of our body with our food. You look at it, it's at a 1-to-1 ratio. So you're going to fight off one free radical with one antioxidant at a time. And if you have an overload of oxidative stress in your body, it's really like pouring a Dixie cup of water onto a house fire. You're not going to combat that overload. You want to have the fire hose and you want to be spraying that fire down to eliminate it. So that's where Protandim NRF2 comes into play. We're going to talk about how you can increase these indirect antioxidants that are inside of our body, naturally God-given inside of our bodies, to combat that free radical damage. So your enzymes of your SODs, the catalase, your glutathione. Glutathione is huge. It has actually been talked about more in the last year than I feel like it has in a long time, with just the circumstances that is happening right now in our world. So we're going to talk about how you can upregulate and turn on your own indirect antioxidant production inside your body and fight that on a 1-to-1,000,000 ratio. So we're looking at putting that fire hose inside of your body to start combating that free radical damage. So this is our Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. And this really is the flagship product that started LifeVantage in 2003. So it is proven to lower the oxidative stress in our body on an average of 40% in 30 days. And we have a peer-reviewed study on that specifically. It supports the natural cellular repair and rejuvenation process. And another study that we have on PubMed talks about increasing the lifespan by 7%, which is huge. Our peer-reviewed studies that we have specifically on Protandim are incredible. They are on pubmed.gov, and that is the National Health Institute, where doctors, researchers go to check out whether it's a supplement, whether it's a product, whether it's a medication.
That's what we go to as
You
well.
go there to find the research.
Mhm.
And we have 28 peer-reviewed studies on PubMed on Protandim specifically. So Protandim NRF2 Synergizer has these 5 main ingredients in them: turmeric, milk thistle, green tea extract, baboka, and ashwagandha. And they all have incredible properties for our health. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how that works together. In a controlled substance, you can use each one of these individually and you will get some increase inside of your body, but it's not a significant amount. They need to be paired together. They need to be put in the right dosages. And that's exactly what was created with Protandim NRF2. when our scientist, Dr. Joe McCord, put these together in the late 1990s, he found that the right amount and the right proportion created this synergistic effect inside of our body. And so you get an 18 times more effective rate with upregulating your system with Protandim Nrf2. And we have 7 patents, US patents, and there's about 5 international patents just on this specific synergy itself. So you cannot patent an herb, that they don't let you patent an herb, but you can patent the formulation of it. So it's pretty significant to know that we have those patents on.
And it's truly a science.
It is. So this is just a little bit more about PubMed.gov. These are some of the universities that have published research and studied Protandim specifically. So the American Heart Association, that is really hard to get a study done by the American Heart Association.
LSU was up there.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Yeah, very good.
Very
alma
good.
mater.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Now it's approved.
Now it's Charlotte approved.
Yes. So all of these you can find on PubMed.gov if you search Protandim in the search bar. One of the ones that I really like to highlight and share about is our Washington State University. It is not in PubMed. You have to search for it specifically. I brought a copy of it tonight. It's 12 pages long, so I'm not going to go into all of it, but it highlights Nrf2. It talks about Protandim specifically. It links it to diseases and illnesses inside the body. And one thing that I just like to share is that they highlight here that Nrf2 may become the most extraordinary and therapeutic preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So this technology, this science is really incredible. Nrf2, I can go back just a little bit, but Nrf2 really started to grab attention to scientists and research in like late 1990s. And they started to see that we have this pathway inside of our body. It's a protein inside of our cell that when you can upregulate it, we can actually change that gene expression. So in the late 1990s is when the study and the research really started to come out on this Nrf2 pathway inside of our body. And it just has kind of exploded and expanded from there. So this second theory of aging that I want to talk to you guys about is this mitochondrial decline. Mitochondria is technically like the powerhouse of our cells. So you can think of it as we're running off of our mitochondria inside of our cells. It's really what is keeping our body going. It's that natural defense system inside of our body. But as we age, our mitochondria declines. And it is not something that you can just supplement. You can't just supplement more mitochondria into your body. You have to make more mitochondria. So
Where was at the age where they went over this and science.
So that's where our Protandim Nrf1 comes into play. They created this product that helps our body actually make more mitochondria. So it improves the performance of our body. It enhances our cellular health. It increases that ATP, which is that on that cellular level, that energy. And it's these 5 different herbs that they put together that create that same formulation as the Nrf2. So when you can increase that mitochondria inside of your body's going to function better. And Nrf1 helps to increase that by nearly 70%, which is huge. The third theory of aging is called our sirtuins, and this is another protein that's inside of our body, and we can think of our sirtuins as our longevity genes. So your genes are repairing your survival. It's combating the different things inside of your body. When our sirtuins start to decline, our body slows down, and junk just really kind of starts to build up in there. So the body's natural, solution is that, the body is consistently trying to produce more sirtuins so that our body can actually function a little bit better. And that is where Protandim NAD synergizer comes into play. So the NAD part of it is the molecule that actually feeds the sirtuin proteins. So it helps to support the longevity, our health longevity, autophagy. It improves mental focus and concentration, supports positive mood and motivation, helps to boost mental and physical energy. And it does help to maintain cholesterol levels that are already in that healthy range.